Hey everybody, Y2Staller here, and I'm doing my vlog on E3, more particularly the big three press conferences, the Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. But before I get into that, I want to address a few things. One is that, why don't I post as many videos? I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on my show with Not That Retro, and I really appreciate the comments. I really look into it. And the reason why is because I am an extremely busy man. Like, I have a full-time job, plus I go to grad school part-time, and I'm done with classes for now, so the only thing I have to worry about is work. But both of those things take up a lot of my time, which is why I don't post as many videos. But now that I'm free for the summer, with the exception of work, I'll be able to post more videos. So you'll definitely be hearing from me a lot more in the months to come. So, I've just spent the last couple of hours watching all these press conferences. I watched Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. So I'm going to go through each one of them. Try not to go through every little aspect of it because there was just there was a lot to cover. I'm just trying to highlight some of the big moments of it. And I did take notes. So if you see me glancing off, that's the reason why. And you might hear a little bit of traffic from cars outside because my apartment is right next to a busy road. So I do apologize in advance. So, first up, we have Microsoft. And this was yesterday. This was not a very good conference for them. It wasn't. I mean, not that Microsoft really cares too much about the Xbox, but it's just that what they're doing with the Kinect, it just raises a lot of questions. They start off, they show off Modern Warfare 3, which we all know is coming out. It's coming out at the end of the year. They showed some gameplay footage for that. The developer didn't really talk too much about it, but then they went right into Mass Effect 3. And probably showed off the reason why Mass Effect 3 is delayed until beginning of 2012. And that is because Mass Effect 3 will now incorporate Kinect. More specifically, they will incorporate it through voice. Like, for example, when you make one of the dialogue choices in Mass Effect 3, you can actually say it out. Say out what it is that you want, what you want to do, and do it that way. You can also use a voice command to send troops out to tell them, what to do. Like, tell your comrades, like go over, like take cover over there. So, we could move to that position, which I thought was pretty cool. Provided the AI is responsive, but I don't know. It doesn't really add too much into it. And that pretty much sets up the whole tone for the rest of the conference with Microsoft, is that they want to try to incorporate Kinect into their bigger games, like Mass Effect. The EA is actually, EA Sports is trying to incorporate Kinect with Madden, with Tiger Woods, PGA Tour. They want to do it with FIFA. With Madden and Tiger Woods, here's the thing. Madden is already out on the Wii, which has motion control. Tiger Woods has gameplay through the PlayStation Move already. So Microsoft is kind of late on that. Also, you have, with FIFA, you don't really. FIFA is probably the only one that's interesting because, it actually would work with Kinect because it takes up a lot of room, with the kicking and whatnot. But the other two, Tiger Woods, Madden, really, kind of a little late with that. Just looking over my notes. There was a bunch of other Kinect games they wanted to show off. They did one with Disneyland Adventures, which kind of reminds me of I think Magic Kingdom Adventure on the NES, where you're going around to the different rides. And they do the same thing here, except that it pretty much looks like a repackaged version of Kinect Adventures, because they showed off Peter Pan's flight, and you see the kids, they're just flying around, like oh, we're flying. But it's kind of like being on that track, like on the car track in Kinect Adventures, where you're riding around and all of a sudden you have to jump up, to collect coins. You're pretty much doing the same thing. they showed off some of the other levels in the gameplay movie. You're pretty much doing the same thing. It's like Kinect Adventures. So it just boggles my mind. That's all. They're also going back to some of their older franchises. Another Kinect game they're doing is Fable: The Journey, and I can't believe they're making another Fable game, because despite the fact that it's the one franchise where Peter Molyneux is creating the perfect RPG, yet there's still flaws. So I'm curious to see what flaws is going to be in the Kinect, or if it's even playable. But it basically looks like the way it's set up is that you're not doing any actual moving back and forth. The game does it for you, like a rail shooter. But you're using your hands to do stuff like casting spells and whatnot, which is all right. A bunch of other games that they showed off did that, like Kinect Star Wars, where you're wielding your lightsaber and doing force attacks, which sounds cool, but looking at it, being that you're not holding an actual lightsaber, it's just kind of odd. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, and there was another game like that. There was Rise with a Y. I don't know why, but yeah, it's pretty much the same, pretty much similar style. And then of course they talk about they're redoing Halo, the first one, but they're doing it for the 10-year anniversary, kind of like what they did with Tomb Raider Anniversary with Eidos back when it was their 10-year anniversary. So nothing too big. Comes out the end of the year. Comes out in November. And then this I find interesting. The guy who runs Kinect, is this guy who, when he first introduced Kinect 2 years ago, he comes out and he's in this he's in running pants or whatever, he's ready to go to the gym. And I always thought that kind of stood out from everybody else that was presenting. But he comes back and he still has this weird, has a 5 o'clock shadow and whatnot. But he's talking about Kinect Fun Labs, how and the emphasis was that how you can incorporate yourself into as an avatar. You wouldn't be able to how you could perfectly create your own avatar, have the perfect avatar. So it captures your face and your body and literally what you're wearing, and does an exact copy of it as an avatar, which I thought was pretty cool and a bit impressive. However, despite the fact that that is kind of cool, it's not something that makes me want to run out and buy a Kinect. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cute, but I don't know. It's just a gimmick to me. And then we get to the end, which Microsoft unveils, which is the release of Halo 4, which will come out the end of next year. Here's my thing with Halo. Halo, it's a great franchise. It's not that I'm not excited about Halo 4, it's just that I'm a little concerned because Bungie does not own the rights to Halo. Usually most game developers own the rights to the games that they produce. Bungie, for some weird reason, doesn't own the rights. Microsoft does. Which means that Microsoft can easily make another Halo game without having to use Bungie. They should just give it to another developer. In fact, at the end of the trailer, if you notice, it's not Bungie, it's, I think, 303 Industries, and I've heard of 303, I think they're the same guys who did, MAG. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. But, I know they've done first-person shooter stuff. I'm probably wrong with that, but, as far as them doing mag, but it's just I don't know, because I've always said that, like, Microsoft can easily make another Halo, and it's gonna suck because it's not Bungie. And I mean, it might be mediocre at best because of this development team, but I don't know. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. So that was it for Microsoft. Very underwhelming. Sony had a lot more to offer, so I'm not going to get through every little bit of detail. The big thing with Sony, they immediately talk about the PlayStation outage, the PSN outage, and that was the big thing. And of course, they referred to as the elephant in the room, obviously. But I liked how they got it out of the way. Just said it short, sweet. You know, we got it resolved. We learned. Move on. And that's what happened. Excuse me. And we get to Uncharted 3. And everybody's excited about it. I have yet to play the Uncharted series, I confess. I know it's a really great series. I will get to it at some point when in my own time, but I'm excited for this. Curious to see where this is going. Pretty good stuff. Pretty much built right off of Uncharted 2 from the gameplay footage that I could see. And yeah, that was pretty much it. They did talk about 3D gaming quite a bit. I mean, a lot of the games that they're showing are in 3D, including Uncharted 3. And one thing they are now introducing is a new PlayStation monitor, PlayStation 3D monitor, and they're including that with a set of 3D glasses, like a copy of Gears of War 3, I believe. What is it? No, not Gears of War 3. Resistance 3. Copy of Resistance 3, and it's all going to be together for like $500, like half the price of a regular 3D television. Because they want to incorporate 3D. They really want to push this whole 3D gaming aspect, even though it's kind of been swept under the rug for the most part. They're also re-releasing some bundles together. They're doing a God of War Origins bundle with Ghosts of Sparta and Chains of Olympus, and then they're getting like an HD revamp, and they're doing another HD revamp of Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, which is cool because Ico is actually a very hard game to find unless you look online. And Shadow of the Colossus is just a really great game, but seeing them both in HD is something to look forward to, and I might get into that. I might get that, just so I can get Ico, finally. They talked a little more about the Move. Nothing too out of the ordinary. They showed off another sports game. They showed off NBA 2K11, which wasn't very impressive because you have... Basically, they're using the Move remote. They're using the controller, and the way they pass is that they just point and then they like press X or whatever. They do that, to do the passing, and they can also move it around to, to like block shots or, steal the ball, and it really doesn't add that much to it. They also showed off another Move game, which kind of looked like sorcery, but only it's like with like a sword and shield. It's what did they call it? It was Medieval Moves. It was all right. Nothing impressive, and that's what disappoints me with the PlayStation Move, is that they don't have anything good to make me want to go out and buy it. The Kinect also has the same problem. Maybe Dance Central, but I don't want to buy like a $160 peripheral just so I can play Dance Central, which, by the way, there is a Dance Central 2 going back. There's a Dance Central 2, and they finally fixed it, meaning that they actually have 2 players simultaneous dancing. That's probably the only good thing that came out of that.